action fanatics, welcome to another edition of the Bulletproof podcast. I'm your host, Chris the Brain, and joining me, it is the one and the only, the Toy Man, Chris DiPetrillo.
Yes. Is our one episode rivalry over, or are we going to continue it into this podcast?
We'll find out here momentarily, won't we?
One episode.
Yeah. Excellent, Ryan Campbell. Ryan Campbell's here.
Hey, everyone. I'm just getting ready. Just left my training, ready to find an underground fight ring where a drug lord protection racket deathmatch promoter is putting on some fights.
You know, these guys need to really stick to their core business. I think they might find much more success. But you know where you might find some success or failures? Bulletproofaction.com. That's where we've always got something going on over there, including, we're coming up on it very soon here, Ryan Campbell, penultimate episode time for Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I know you're all about the penultimate episode.
I am, and I'm even more about them in like a Game of Thrones verse show. And I'm even more about this one, Brain. We've got the big teams of seven fight to survive, the trial of the seven, all-star cast of knights from around the seven kingdoms. You've got royalty, you've got Kingsguard versus the prince that's fighting his own family, helping out this hedge knight. Is he actually a knight? Is he not? I am hyped going into this episode, Brain. So make sure you guys go and check out the recap and my observations for the next episode, Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
There you go. Yep, he has been covering it since it dropped. He will continue to do so
until I leave this mortal plane.
Until we wrap up later this month, and then you'll be right on to your next series. So,
yeah, we got Monarch coming up, and Invincible. There's the Spider Noir series that's going to be coming up soon. I'm going to be like a TV guy, pretty much.
You're right. You're doing the TV beat. You know what today is? As this drops, it is Chinese New Year, and it is the Year of the Horse, I've been told. And tomorrow, right here on BulletproofAction.com, I will be reviewing a Kung Fu classic, Crazy Horse and Intelligent Monkey.
Sounds nice.
It's and you know,
over under on Bastards.
Oh, that's, you know what, I checked it out. I did a little preview when this suggestion came my way, and within 90 seconds there was a bastard. So I was very, very excited. So will it make?
Was it the horse or the monkey?
No, it was the monkey who got called a bastard because he was cheating at gambling. When there's gambling involved, you almost are guaranteed a bastard. But yeah, did it get past 10? You'll have to check out my review, and if it did, it will not only be talked about in my review, but it will make the official Count the Bastards list. So again, bulletproofaction.com. Last week on the site, I presented the first World's Most Dangerous for 2026, World's Most Dangerous Restaurants. So definitely check that out. And Toyman did something a little different, or perhaps not, depending on how you look at it. Toyman, Bulletproof After Dark, you went with it. No Surrender Cinema.
Yeah, we went back to mid-90s, late night, excuse me, it's a movie called Friend of the Family 2. You can find it on streaming right now under an alternate title of Passionate Revenge. It's a Fred Olen Ray joint, and with those, you pretty much know what you're getting into. But it had some very interesting factoids and trivia. It's got a lot of connections to a lot of films that we talk about. It's got a connection to Revenge of the Ninja. It's got a connection to the original Scream. And, if you're ever going to find the time to sit back and watch a mid-90s Skinamax flick, one that is devoid of humor and kind of plays it straight, let it be this one, because this one has an ending. I purposely did not spoil it in the article. Usually with the older movies, I'll kind of go all out and, fill the readers in as far as what happens. But if you find the time to pop this one on, this one will sit with you. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, Ryan Campbell's added it to his to-be-watch list for sure.
For sure, absolutely.
But, while we're on the subject of what Toyman's up to, what's your next one at the end of the month? You've got something as well, Toyman.
We've talked about it on previous episodes, but we'll continue to keep that hype train rolling because I will be going to see Scream 7 if you do not see it ahead of time before me. I know that there was
I don't believe I will
a
be seeing
concern
that.
that you might get the sneak preview.
I don't think
So
so.
if you don't get that early week sneak preview, my plan is to go on that Thursday night and have a No Surrender Cinema out for Friday morning for the world premiere.
There you go, folks. So there you see it. Skinamax movie and a horror movie.
Now, you act like I haven't covered Scream before for the site.
We're diversifying our portfolio like a deathmatch promoter. You got to have your fingers in a lot of pies, Brain.
Maybe.
Or not like a deathmatch promoter, because it seems to be that's all these guys do in these movies is they run drugs or they have illegal fighting tournaments. And we love it. That's why we're here to talk about it.
All I'm saying is, remember, folks. Remember. All right, folks. Yeah, we're going to talk about a deathmatch promoter. We're going to talk about drug running. We're going to talk about crime and how it
protection shakedowns,
how it affects an urban area. We're going to talk about all that because we're getting to it. We had a little bit of a delay, but we're here now. It is our Balance of Power episode, aka Hidden Tiger. This one was released on March 25th, 1997. And it starts off, we get some aerial footage with our opening credits. And then once those are done, we're right into it, Ryan Campbell. We get an underground fight. We get a bang a gong like we're on the frickin' Iron Chef.
I mean, how else do you know that the fight begins?
This is something. This is something. Underground.
We got businessmen. We got gambling, throwing money up at the sky. All the hallmarks of a great underground deathmatch fighting ring.
And speaking of Hallmark, Toyman will probably be doing one of those movies before it's all said and done because I think Joey Pants was in one of them. But now, you know who was in this movie, Toyman? The one and only
James Lew, and he was not wearing pants. He was wearing a diaper.
Yeah, the legs of James. I don't know if I've ever seen James Lew's legs.
James Lew's legs. It's a tough one.
He's showing off. He did not skip leg day. Shinji Takamura is his character's name, and he apparently
that sounds like a very WWF like Japanese professional wrestler
Shinsuke
name.
Nakamura.
Yeah, or like shit, the one I used to watch with the mask. I can't think of his name. Hayabusa. Yeah, Shinji Takamura. Yeah, it's all familiar.
Well, Takamura is obviously the big man in these underground fights. And we see him in action. He breaks his opponent's legs. He's just not a very nice person. But you know who is a nice person? Nico. Played by Billy Blanks. And we see he and his students doing a little community cleanup, Toyman, before they report to the dojo. You were in a dojo or some sort of martial arts school. Did you guys ever do any kind of community service as well?
No, we didn't do anything like community service, community cleanup, but I think I might have mentioned this before. My sensei actually broke away from doing the traditional belt system and the forms because of some kidnappings that happened back in the 80s. And he was more concerned with his kids knowing how to defend themselves on the street, at the playgrounds. If they were out and about without parental supervision or adult supervision, he did not want any of his students to, get lured or get taken. So that's why I never made it all the way to getting a black belt, because he decided to focus more on street skills, self-defense, pure kickboxing. So that was pretty much his version of community service.
What the hell's the point of that?
Yes, that's why, folks.
I'd want my money back.
Otherwise, Toyman would be a 27th degree black belt.
Ridiculous. I think something shady was going on.
Yeah. Well, I think
Toyman sounds like a front or something.
Should write a movie about what this whole situation. It sounds interesting. But yeah, Nico, he teaches his students respect and responsibility. And when you clown in his class, guess what happens? You got to balance glasses of water.
Oh man, that would look terrible. But that's not the worst challenging exercise involving water in this movie, Brain. We'll get to that in a little bit.
No, we will. Yeah, but it's quite clear. Nico runs a tight ship. And now we go back.
He's trying to raise these boys, Brain. Most of them come from probably broken homes, and they've got like gangbanger relatives and kids. So he's trying to bring that little bit of discipline.
A lot of negative influences around him. He's trying to be a positive influence.
Right.
Now we cut back to our bad guys, and we find out that the big annual death match is just 2 weeks away. Get your
Sunday.
Evil boss
down in the grotto.
Hastashita, I think is her. I don't know.
It sounded right. It sounded good.
It's been so long since I've actually watched this movie. I don't remember. But yeah, he says, listen, we need mother of pearl quality with our products. Otherwise the clientele will look down upon me. Are there no great warriors left?
Well, I mean, when you're running that's the thing, Brain. When you're running death matches, you kind of burn through the roster pretty quickly.
Yeah. And who wants to sign up for that? Like,
not a lot of long-term booking in death matches, Brain.
Right. And again, like, I could potentially die. Yeah, no, I think I'll I'll be a hot dog vendor or something. I don't know. Some job where I'm not going to die. More like I don't have a 50-50 chance of dying each year. I don't know. Toyman, we also we meet Mr. Slater, who is kind
not
of
AC Slater.
No, not AC Slater, not AC Slater's dad, who was in Death Wish 4. This is a completely unrelated, or not the Rebel Dick Slater. I don't think there's any relation there either. This is just Mr. Slater, and he's like the right-hand man.
Yeah, he's equally evil, more of like the underling to I believe it was Hastishta, kind of like Takeshita. I think that's how you pronounce it. But they're kind of in this together, but obviously Slater is the number 2 in this position. And I don't mean that by being he's a piece of shit, although if he's dealing drugs and promoting underground fights, he might just be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's not Hastashita.
Take a shitta.
Hastashita is the guy.
Oh, see, now Corny's going to come after us for the trademark on that one.
Mother. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, Hastashita. Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, we find out Slater's like, hey, our old trainer, Matsumoto, he's soured on this whole deathmatch thing because it used to be about honor, and now it's all about gambling. It's like when
that's what soured him, not the death aspect of it.
It's like all sports now. It's all sports now is completely tarnished with gambling.
Yeah, it's like the grammar rodeo. It got too commercialized, and
there you go.
That's why Bart and Milhouse really didn't have a good time there.
It's a deep cut.
You're welcome. But back to the dojo now. Nico is training. And Takamura, who's not only just the deathmatch champion, Ryan Campbell, he's also like the head collection goon.
Yeah, I assume maybe his presence when he shows up on helps those pockets get a little looser. But again, Brain, if your guys keep dying, it helps to maybe it's some consistency. At least you've got a guy that can go collect money.
Yeah.
Everybody else keeps calling in because they're dead, not showing up for work.
Right. Yeah. No call, no show, no breathe. But yeah, he tries to get money from Nico, but they're like, no, you hit the bricks, you guys. You're not getting any money from us. So now Slater pays a visit to Matsumoto, who is played by, I think you're supposed to say Mako. I think that's the proper way to say his name. But
We've all said Mako.
I always like to call him Mako because then you could say, better get Mako.
Better get Mako.
And if I can't use that in one of my reviews, why the fuck am I even typing up a review?
That's right. It's your podcast, Brain. You can.
Is that still a thing?
What's that? Mako?
Yeah.
Highly unlikely.
I mean, I know Midas is still around.
The paint people, they're still a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and in my review of Balance of Power, aka Hidden Tiger, that was published on April 7th, 2015, one of the bullet points is in fact, better get Mako.
It's been sitting there for 10, 11 years, Brain. Finally got around to it.
There it is. And I'm sure it's not the only time that's been used on the site. But I definitely was like, that may have been the main reason I reviewed this movie, just so I could put that line in there and amuse myself.
You're nothing if not consistent.
Indeed. So Mako is he's Matsumoto, and Slater's like, you need to train fighters. No, I'm not doing it. What if we do something to your granddaughter? Okay, I'll do it. Pretty simple, but it's an effective tool.
It is, right? And he it's like he doesn't have much to go at. He doesn't have a champion that could really fight for him. So I mean, you kind of put it out there, and if they give you an honorable retirement, great. But once they decide you're kind of in it, you're gonna be in it.
We go back to the school where Nico hears from his assistant Charlie. Now, Toyman, this was one of those movies where Billy Blanks was not named Billy. However, we have another character in the movie named Billy.
Actually going to bring that up had it not been in your notes. It seems like every Billy Blanks movie, he's either named Billy. The name Billy is just ever present in a Billy Blanks production. But, maybe he saw something in this young man and he's like, you know what? Kind of like passing the torch. You get the Billy name in this one. But it seems that this Billy is on the wrong side of the tracks and Nico's trying to steer him in the right direction.
Yeah, he's been seen at the playground.
World's most dangerous playground, apparently.
Apparently, yes. Yeah, and gangs, and it's just not a good place. It's not a place you want to be.
They really hype up this playground.
They do, and it's dangerous.
Maybe it was the playground from Revenge of the Ninja.
Now, that's another dangerous playground for sure. I'm seeing a potential post here. Nico calls Billy in. He's like, hey, man, I want to offer you an assistant instructor spot, but I can't have my assistant instructor hanging out at that goddamn playground. But then Billy admits it was the lure of the Punani. A girl named Kesha.
It's a heck of a lure, Brain. Denise Richards would have had me head to that playground last week.
She would have. Yeah. So every man could relate. It's like, yeah, I've done some stupid things because of a woman, or I would have if she asked me to. But yeah, he said, okay, I will never go to the playground again. Never say never, Billy. Because next thing you know, Nico is once again looking for Billy and Kesha. And where does he go? He looks for them at the playground.
Runs to the playground.
He runs over there. And he's disrespected by the very miscreants that we have been told hang out at said playground.
He had some good lines, though, on him, I got to say. He got his ass kicked, but he got some verbal licks in on old Billy Blanks there.
Yeah. Well, he takes care of those guys. And then he goes back. Now he's seeing Billy. But now, Toyman, we're getting some... this was kind of unexpected because I would not expect Takamura to be involved in what was just about to go down. This is like some boys in the hood type situation right here.
Yeah, things escalate very quickly. It's like we're trying to kind of tie all of our plot lines into one overarching story very quickly here in Balance of Power, because we've got the deathmatch tournament where we know that James Liu playing Takamura is like, the main man, the undefeatable fighter, the undefeated champion, and they're also shaking Billy down, but they need new fighters for the tournament. But Billy's trying to not Billy Blanks is trying to keep Billy in the movie. Nico is trying to keep Billy away from this playground. And now Takamura kind of goes into the role that we normally see James Liu in, just kind of like the gangster henchman type. And they gun Billy, as in Billy the student, down in front of Nico's very eyes.
Oh, what an emotional moment here.
Yeah, that's our defining moment of our hero's journey right there.
Yeah, and Nico runs
of Canada.
Nico runs over there, but then he's going to run after these guys, and he's nearly run over in an alley, and then these goons attack. Now these are like professional goons, Ryan Cam. These aren't just stupid gangbangers at the playground.
No, these are the guys that they make the big bucks doing this. This ain't their first rodeo.
And I get the action movie setup, like you want to chase the villains and get into the fist fight with them. Like that's what these movies, deliver for us as action fans.
Yeah.
But you left a 15-year-old kid to die on the sidewalk just to go and be macho and swear vengeance. Like,
I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but I think we just assumed he was dead.
Yeah.
Like it looked like he took like a shotgun to the chest from a car. I didn't think there was any. I was more concerned about the cops thinking he was fleeing the scene as a suspect or something more than any chance of the kid surviving.
Yeah, I think it's just the rage, and that comes into play in a little bit as well, where we'll get into it, where he's told you can't get mad, you have to make your opponent get mad. So we'll get there too.
He's got a little bit of a temper problem.
We're seeing these flaws here that are going to be addressed. So yeah, he gets in a rage. He goes after the guys. He gets his ass kicked for it. Takamura gives him a cheap shot. And next thing you know, Nico is waking up the next morning in a pile of garbage. And that's where Jasmine finds him. And she's like, I'm going to take you to my grandfather. And that is, of course, our man Matsumoto.
I like this scene. I really like Jasmine. I like the delivery she has. Like she's like hyping up her grandfather.
Yeah.
And like the kind of witty kid delivery. Like there was a really cool introduction here. And especially after like the heaviness of seeing Billy get killed.
Yeah.
This little moment here is almost like a little breath of levity to kind of like, and she's like, oh, you will be healed by my grandfather, which is a great honor. Just like the way she's talking. Mm-hmm. So I like that character. She was good.
This movie's trying to be all sorts of things because, to Brain's point, we get some like Boys in the Hood action, and now we've got like a 90s PG-13 like precocious youth, buttering up to Billy Blank's hair, like, oh, you got your ass kicked and you were left for dead in garbage, but it's going to be a great honor for me to get you to my grandfather who will heal you.
Yeah, there's always some wise grandfather. We found that out. We might think that we've already may have a potential category. Yeah. We've got two grandfathers who heal people. So
the honorary Mr. Miyagi Award going to
exactly. The Mr. Miyagi Memorial Award. So far, we've got two nominees: Grandfather from Super Fights and Matsumoto from Balance of Power. Will we get more? There's a goddamn good chance of that, folks.
It's only Three Ninjas.
There you go. We're 2 weeks into February, so yeah, we got a long way to go.
We got a long way to go.
It's going to be a heavy award season.
Unless Toyman changes the format. But listen, we've got he goes and gets patched up. And then they start commiserating about how the city is getting worse every day. And he's like, you know what? I need a fighter for a contest. Matsumoto tells Nico, I need this fighter. And then we can take down how am I saying this name? All right. The bad
guy. What do you want to say? He has to shoulda.
That's right. I should have just spelled it like it was sounding instead of
Mr. H, Brain. That's what you should have put, Mr. H.
Instead of looking up the proper spelling on IMDb. But yeah, we could take down Hasteshta's evil empire, but to do it, we have to take out his, this is his big thing, this death match gimmick. We got to take him down. All right. Well, to prepare Nico for this, Ryan Campbell, they go down and they watch some street fights, and I have to imagine, I wish I was in the room when Ryan Campbell was watching this, because what a big surprise. A giant size surprise, even some would say.
My man. We thought we were done with him for 2026, but nope. We're back with some Canadian giant.
Gary Robbins.
Oh, buddy, Billy Blanks put the call in.
Oh, so good to see him again.
That maple syrup eating motherfucker is back, man.
Oh, he is. He's as big
And
as
about a year ago from when we were introduced to him in 2025. It was
Yeah.
pretty early in 2025.
Yeah, he's back, baby. And next thing you know, though, Nico has a fight, an impromptu fight that he loses. He was horrible, Toy Man.
Yeah, and this is obviously to set up the fact that grandfather is going to train him and make him better because it's all about what you learn, not what you know. So we're kind of he's doing the jobs before the big win.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like this grandfather role. And what I think sets him apart from many of the other grandfather sensei roles is he's tough, but he's extremely supportive. Like he tells Billy Blank's character, like, don't even worry that you lost. I'm not even concerned about it. I knew you were going to lose. I'm not watching your, I'm not watching your technique or your, I'm watching your heart. He's like, I there's something there I can work with. And he lifts him up. He's very supportive and nice, where a lot of these guys can be kind of like downers and like kind of shit on them the entire time until they finally kind of turn the corner. And then all of a sudden they're like loving role, but he's very supportive, but tough. I like it.
Yeah. They go to dinner afterwards and Matsumoto goes over, basically critiques his match, if you will, on wrestling terms. This is like a greenhorn traveling with the veterans and finding out what the hell he's been doing wrong in his matches to get better.
Making the towns, Brain. Making the towns.
Right. And he's like, you're thinking too much about the rules. There are no rules in the death match. Your spirit and your body are strong, but you need the mind to join in with it. It all has to come in. You have to have the balance of power. And
right, he kept expecting them to follow the rules and all that, which is kind of cool. That like, obviously, he doesn't want to train fighters for death battles anymore, but he is aware because that's what he's been doing.
Right.
Where again, a lot of the other roles we see, like that person is outside of the death match orb and just kind of does his own thing, and then trains the guy to then like behind his back go into the death match. Whereas like this guy, no, he knows all the shit and shady stuff these guys do, and he's really going to train him up for it.
Yeah. So Nico, he's like, all right. After that talk, goes to the payphone, calls Charlie at the gym, and says, "You got to take care of the dojo. You got to take care of the kids." Charlie's like, "Hey, I've been meaning to get I've been trying to get a hold of you. I got something to tell you." But Matsumoto hangs up the phone.
He's like, going through a bridge. Okay. Hands up on him. He went to.
And it's now time to get to work. And Ryan Campbell, we start off with something you alluded to earlier.
Oh man, Brain. I both want to try this, but do not want to try this. I think it's up there with one of the better fight training montages, creativity wise, that we've seen. There's always like some weird obscure thing, again going back to Mr. Miyagi, kind of like set the tone of like the Fly, wax on wax off kind of thing, where you always have to have some sort of like out there version of training. This one though genuinely seems like it would be hard as shit. So he has to take a sip of maybe less than a cup of water, maybe like 3/4 of a cup of water, and but then he has to run and keep it in his mouth, and at the end of the run, spit it back into the cup. And if you just think about having to do an intense run without being able to breathe through your mouth, because you wouldn't be able to open your mouth, you would have to just breathe through your nose to control your breathing, control your heart rate and everything as you're running full speed. That, it sounds like one of the more hardest things I've seen in one of these training montages in a long time. That's insane.
Yeah, and what I alluded to,
I don't think I could run down my driveway and do that.
No, I don't try. You can try it if you want. We can wait.
YouTube exclusive.
There you go. There you figured it out. See, Ron Campbell, you're always thinking about that YouTube channel. Good for you.
I try.
And as I alluded to, we get the don't get mad, make the other fighter get mad. Then he's got him buried up to his waist in sand, and he's like, he's hitting him, and it's like, what can you do? He's just he's testing him. They go up
again. Good training though. If you get
in a movie,
I don't even know if it was necessarily really comedy in a way. Like it seems pretty like if you're
Well, no, this one wasn't. Like usually when you see someone getting buried in the sand, it's usually like for a
yeah,
laugh or whatever. But here it was like, let's make the most of this location. How can we do something different? We'll bury Billy Blanks up to his chest in sand and
it's
have him
also
deflect.
it's also just like you can't count on having all of your skills and abilities. Like you don't know what kind of shady stuff they're going to pull or if you're going to get stuck into a corner or whatever. So like having to adapt and learn how to essentially fight without being able to move or escape. Like there's just a lot of really good stuff, man. I enjoyed this training scene.
Ryan Campbell nominating this one for training montage of the year.
It was all very practical and good stuff, man.
Yeah, we got a little cold weather training as well. They go up in the mountains, so we get some cold weather to contrast with the beach training. And next thing you know, we're back to the street fights. Nico has brought spirit, body, and mind. And another familiar face pops up. I believe he was in the same category as Gary Robbins last year in the Golden Butthorns. Voyo Goric is back. It's Nico versus Voyo. And this time, Ryan Campbell, it's a much different outcome.
Yes, he's been able to channel all of that training, and just it's a squash match this time. He's paid his dues, I guess, and got his quick squash in the beginning on his debut, and now he's getting some wins.
Like Voyo Toyman is on like the poster, or at least one of the posters too.
The one, I believe it's the one that's used on the YouTube copy that I saw. I think it was the Movie Man's website.
Yeah.
The one where it's labeled under its alternate title as well, Hidden Tiger.
And when it was like real early, or like when it's real small, I'm like, is that like an aged Speedball Mike Bailey? But no, it was Voyo Goric.
Another product of Canada, Speedball Mike Bailey. So who knows? It might have been.
He would have made more sense. Yeah, like how did Voyo get into Canada? They let him in, apparently. But yeah, I was.
I'm just mad it wasn't Gary Robbins.
Well, Gary was there earlier, so
yeah, we got that already. And he lost, so
and
he would have had to gone over in that. So
yeah, Gary will be back. But yeah, Voyo. I was, again, I had watched this movie, but again, it was 11 years ago, so I didn't quite remember that old Voyo was in it. So that was a kind of a pleasant surprise to see him. And then we get, and I know Toyman was having flashbacks to other films because the next day, Nico and Matsumoto are on a boat, and they're heading to the island. We have
not that island, everyone.
We've seen it before, many times.
Many times. We saw it with Bruce Lee. We saw it with Don the Dragon Wilson. I mean, it's become as much of a trope as underground fighting these days.
Yeah, if you're a rich man and you really want to show up, you have your death match on a private island. But
again, not that private island.
Yep. Yeah, death matches are not the worst things to happen on islands
we
after
don't
the things
know
that have happened in.
Yeah, we don't know if Hastashida was in the Epstein list. That would not confirm or deny that.
Hastashida, he not only has an island. Well, I guess so did Han. You got to have caves on your island as well, Toyman. Caverns.
Is that why there was a Skinamax movie called Cave Girl Island?
I don't know, but we'll probably have a review of it.
No, it's not going to be covered. It's not going to be covered.
We'll probably have a review of it sometime, and because I don't know.
Let me just trademark Skinamax Action so I can take over the site.
See?
We already have Bulletproof After Dark. It's the whole gimmick.
No, he can't take it. He wants everything to be his own dumb creation. Anyway, he's got to go through a gauntlet to qualify for the death match, because we should have pointed out when he beat Voyo, Slater was there and Hanson like, here's your first thing to get to the thing. So that's why they're at this island. They're going to the cave gauntlet.
I like the little lore here of like the monks that are like honoring the ancient ways of this like underground fight tournament, and they're both going along with this, but you can also tell that they're kind of not into it either. So there is this like hidden lore of this like you know, I don't. I guess I call them like monks of whatever this ancient form of ritual combat is. That are again they're honoring the legacy, but they're not too keen with the direction things are going.
Right. Right.
Living in their cave with security cameras. Very technologically advanced monks.
Well, you got to imagine that was Hasta shit who put those in there. And again, to Ryan's point, they're just kind of, well, this is where we hang out, and what are you gonna do? But yeah, we get the first.
It's like the old Crockett guys trying to deal with when Bischoff came in.
First, we've got first Nico has to take on multiple opponents. Then there is the speed test. He's got to get out of there and under that gate before it closes. And then they're like trying to sweat him out in what is a mind over matter type test.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, I thought that they were going to dive into maybe what Billy Blanks' character is doing there. Was he like pushing his body to maybe like raise his heart rate to pump blood faster so he could survive in the, like, I was trying to figure out what was he doing there to survive there? I don't know. Cause he like,
I think it was kind of like Best to the Best 2 when Sonny Landham has them in the heat, and was it Eric Roberts goes to leave and he's like, Brockus would stay. It's almost like pushing yourself to like a form of punishment to be able to absorb what's coming at you.
Again, it's mind over matter. If you don't think you're about to die, maybe you won't. I don't know.
He's just focusing on the
right
actions, not the air escaping his body.
And now it's time for the man to come back. It's Gary Robbins and Takamura. And this does not end well for Gary Robbins.
Poor Gary. Again, unfortunately, the big guy never gets to be the champ. He always ends up having to put over the other guy.
And after Takamura takes care of Gary, he bows to Matsumoto.
And Matsumoto returns it with a lower head bow. There's still a little bit of like pupil master respect there.
Right. That was his original, that was one of his students, and there's still some respect there. And of course, Nico. Yes.
Rain, did Gary and Agi give you memories of Ron Reese as the super giant ninja?
No, but now that you mention it, yeah. Oh, super giant ninja. He should have been in super fights. Nico, he of course is pissed because we've established that he does have an anger problem, and he wants Takamura right then and there. But no, you've got to earn it. So we get to see Nico in action montage, and we get the Nico chant.
Nico.
And that's
the name like Nico, it's just asking to be chanted.
Right.
It's a good chant name.
It's a good chant name indeed. And so now Mr. H realizes that Nico is in fact going to be a threat. So he's like, Slater, you got to make sure this bastard doesn't win. The big final fight is in 3 days, so do what you got to do. On the boat ride back, Matsumoto tells Nico that he's a fine warrior and a good man, but there's still something missing. Inner balance. Get it, everyone?
Like in the name.
Right. We find out a man has 3 hearts.
I didn't know that.
One
I
for the world.
I got one.
One, I have none. One for the world, one for his family and friends, and one that he keeps to himself.
Speaking of keeping things to himself, Nico has not mentioned Billy at all during this. So he witnessed the tragic gangland slaying of his favorite student that he was mentoring, and he has completely forgotten.
He's keeping his emotions.
He was left on the sidewalk to die.
Trying to keep his emotions in check.
You got to also understand that everyone handles things differently, and he just may be one of those guys who shoves it down and doesn't share. And maybe when he goes to sleep at night, he's crying his eyes out, and we don't see that.
Or like
we don't see him sleep at all.
What he's doing right now is in the act of revenge. So he's pouring all of that into this endeavor of,
he's
finishing this
avenging
tournament.
Billy. Yeah, he's
Right.
avenging Billy because he knew he saw Takamura in that drive-by. So,
which, I mean, sometimes happen. You have this happen to people, and they just they laser focus on getting vengeance or getting justice for the killer of their child or whatever. And people say they don't seem to mourn because they just get tunnel visioned on this endeavor. And then eventually, when they do, even if they don't, eventually they have to cope with it and deal with it.
so true.
So there you go. Feel good podcast, Brandon.
Thank you for the psychoanalysis, everyone involved here. So now we've got Jasmine doing the coaching of Nico, and she's like, "Go run up this hill." All right. He's going up the hill, but as he's going up the hill, something's about to go down because Slater and company show up and abduct Jasmine. And Nico sees it, but he's way up at the top of the hill. And you can't just run down a hill.
He does like that cheese roll.
Right, because you can hurt yourself trying to get down.
What is it with these action heroes that every time they're running up a hill, they're all wearing white? Is this like the equivalent to in pro wrestling? If you're going to do a blade job, wear a white shirt.
That's right.
They're always wearing white.
Well, he does, and he doesn't get back down fast enough. And when he tells Matsumoto, he's like, "Yeah, I kind of figured they'd try that kind of shit. Don't worry, I've got a plan." Has to shit. It's like, "Hey, why don't we leak a rumor that Takamura isn't 100%? And then all these people are going to bet their money on Nico. But since I've got Jasmine, I know there's no way Nico could win. So I'll just take all the money that they're betting on Nico." And it ends up being $40 million.
Woo, that's in 1997 money. Yeah.
Yeah, 90s. Yeah, that was 30 years ago money. 30 years ago money. Can only imagine. So now we get more Nico training. Just a little bit more. You can never have too much. And they give you just a little bit more. And then it's time for the big deathmatch fight. And
$81,728 in 2026 money, Brady.
Wow. That's something.
I did that off the top of my head.
Highly unlikely. So yeah, the whole Jasmine thing, they really don't drag this out at all, Toyman. It's like,
no.
Oh no, Jasmine, but no.
And Matsumoto's not very concerned. Like, he kind of knows it's a ploy. So Nico's like, "They've got your granddaughter." He's like, "He will not hurt her. You have to go out there and stop him." So it's almost like, okay, like this is supposed to be kind of like a pivotal point in the story. Like, is this gonna throw Billy? I keep calling him Billy because we're so used to calling Billy Blanks Billy, and I don't want to confuse him with the younger character. Is this gonna throw Nico off his game? And Matsumoto's like, "No, you're fine. Go out there, fight." And it's like,
Right.
Okay, if the grandfather doesn't care, why are we supposed to care?
It's very much like with in Kickboxer, where they have his brother, so he's losing. He's getting his ass beat by Tong Po, but then deep into the fight when Xian gets his brother there, it's like, now you bastard, now we're on an even playing field. Your advantage is gone. It barely even happens here, but that's all right.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if grandfather wasn't. I mean, because my assumption is he knows that like the monks on the inside aren't going to do anything like they're, but for him to immediately take the temperature down of the situation when Billy Blanks' character is concerned about it, kind of undercuts the entire thing. Like, you could have had him, Nico, being freaking out over it, only then at the end to realize, like, oh no, grandfather was never worried. Oh, okay. But yeah, they kind of immediately undercut the entire tension in the scene, and it all ends up kind of just being pointless in the end. But
yeah, the cave monks, they help her, and
she even gets to watch the fight. She's out.
Yeah, fight. She's there almost as soon as the fight begins. So that's what I'm saying. There was no like, oh, he's just gonna have to suck it up for a minute,
or like to goat him into the fight. Like, he decided it wasn't worth it and he was going to focus on moving forward. And they're like, oh, kidnap the girl, that'll get him to show up. No, he was gonna show up. Like it's not like they needed that to coax him into it.
They need him to lose, but they didn't have that moment where like make it look good, but you lose. Or, you should have had that situation. That's usually what happens. It's like, these
probably just a ran out of time thing. That may have been what it was going to be, is they were going to try to tell him to take a dive, and then he sees her show up at the fight and realizes he can go full bore now or something like that. And it just didn't make it.
Yeah, because and he ends up getting the gamblers pissed with him anyway, but you want to give him a good show. And that seemed to be his, he was talking about the quality. So he wants a quality fight, but he wanted to make sure his man won. But yeah, they kind of, it's very simple thing to do, and they managed to screw it up. One thing they did do right, though, Toy Man, is Takamura had Jasmine's locket around his ankle.
Yeah, the little psych out, kind of like, hey, you know what we did? We've shot your student, we've kidnapped your mentor's granddaughter, and now I'm just gonna toss this locket aside like garbage. I'm gonna get in your head right before the fight.
And then the fight takes place inside a ring of fire. So again,
second Don the Dragon reference of the night.
Again, another, that's good too. So they got some stuff right. It's just the fact that they got that little bit wrong. And again, it's the fight starts and Nico there's Jasmine. Oh, good. Here we go. And it's kind of probably why this, obviously the fight itself is not the big finale, because next thing you know, Nico's victorious. The gamblers want their cash because they all bet on Nico. And Slater grabs the briefcase of money, has to shit, grabs Jasmine. And now, since we have these goddamn caves, we're going to use them, Ryan Campbell.
That's right. We what happens when it all goes south? Grab the briefcase and run.
That's right. Somebody stole the box office.
Yep, they know. They took the gate, and they know all the secret ways to get out of there. But so do the monks, Brain.
Yeah, the cave monks get involved. We get Matsumoto gets to have his moment, and he takes out Slater and old Nico and has to shit. Has to shit is not as fast. He must not have had a shit that bad, because he did not get under that gate. Or he got under. He didn't get through the gate. He got
under that gate.
Yeah, he didn't get through the gate. And so we saw that. So that was nice. That was a nice callback, because they did show us the gate earlier.
That was probably the most graphic scene part of the movie too. His death shot there at the end.
Yeah,
the gate going through his neck. DED dead.
Goodbye. Has to shit. Has to shit. He should have said has to shit. Has to die.
You don't have to shit
when
anymore.
When you die, doesn't your body relax? That's
what I'm saying. You don't have to shit anymore. Now those caves smell like has to shit.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, Nico gives Jasmine her locket back. And next thing you know, we go back to the dojo. As Nico has done what he had to do, he can go resume his normal life as a martial arts sensei. But boy, is he about to get the surprise of surprises. Toy Man, since you did not spoil it, as many believed you might have, why don't you share with the class what Billy learns, or what Nico learns?
We did not get a Boys in the Hood situation, because unlike Morris Chestnut's character of Ricky, Billy is still alive. He's all slinged up. Looks like it was just a flesh wound or whatever it was, but apparently that was what the phone call that got cut off early was going to be about, that Billy was actually still among the living, and here he is to have a happy reunion with Nico at the end of the film.
I did not think he was going to be alive. Like, he had scatter shot buck shotgun all over his chest.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, put that arm in a sling, I guess. He's good to go.
Maybe the Punani brought him back.
Maybe she felt bad. She stood him up twice, so she used the power of Punani.
She visited him in the ICU and whispered in his ear, and he just fought through it and came back.
Maybe that playground was so dangerous he was wearing a bulletproof vest and didn't get a chance to tell Nico.
That is also a very good possibility. Or a no surrender cinema vest.
There you go. Patent pending.
Nico then introduces the dojo to the newest member of the staff. That's right. There's no ageism at this school. He's hired Matsumoto to join the crew.
Who he says is going to be there for a very long time. It's kind of setting some high expectations there.
Well,
setting up a sequel?
Possibly. Or disappointment. We really don't know because we never got the sequel. But there you have it. Matsumoto now can continue to use his ways of teaching the next generation of martial artists. Ryan Campbell, I know this was your first time watching it. Your final thoughts?
I enjoyed it. It was super tight. I know we made jokes about
like Kesha.
There you go. We made jokes about the bad guys needing to always, it was a big problem we had with super fights that they were too bogged down with showing all the other avenues of crime. They could have just focused on the deathmatch thing. And I thought this movie would do the similar thing, but then they just they didn't dwell on it.
Right.
And it almost made sense because like the shakedown for protection thing is what eventually leads to Billy getting shot in the drive-by. So there was a plot purpose to it. Right. And then after that, we're strictly focused on death battle after that. We don't really go back to any of the crime stuff. So it didn't bog the movie down, served a plot point. And again, movie's super tight. Everything it does really well, except for the little thing at the end there with
Jasmine.
With Jasmine. But again, it doesn't really take up any time. It just kind of is there. So it's not a huge miss. Again, they probably had better ideas for it. A lot of times the finales of these movies is where you can tell that they ran out of time and or money the most, and they're just trying to get the thing done. So probably just ended up on the cutting room floor, just didn't get shot or whatever. But it didn't really hurt the movie, just kind of something that stuck out. But choreography was really good. The final fight scene I really enjoyed. It wasn't like fast paced, but everything felt super impactful. You were able to like see every move and see the effect that they took, and like there were really impactful punches. The sound design when they would make a hit sounded really, devastating. Billy Blanks had a really cool move where he like put him in a headlock with his foot and then used his other foot to kind of like drop kick him as he had him like locked into his foot. So a lot of really cool fight scenes, a lot of really cool choreography. I mentioned earlier, I loved the training montage scene. I mentioned this to you too, Brain. They didn't shoehorn like a love story in there, which a lot of these movies feel they are obligated to do, and it always ends up just feeling tacked on. They didn't bother with that, which of course allows the movie to be so much cleaner and tighter. So I thought it was a really good little hour and a half, Tubi watch. It was really good. I enjoyed it.
I'm trying now. You said that, and I started trying to think. Toyman, you can help me here. Does Billy Blanks ever have like a real romantic storyline in any of his movies?
No. Usually, like Talons of the Eagle, it was Jalal and Priscilla Barnes,
right?
And then Showdown, there was nobody, and
he had his sister in
Back in Action,
but it's not really a love story. There is a love story though, so it's not his. And then his partner in TC 2000 or whatever it was called, whatever it is. But that's not really a love story.
The Ladies of the Evening and King of the Kickboxers is.
I was going to say that's the most romance he gets, and he's doesn't do very well there either. But yeah,
is he like happily married and just has his contract like not to do love stories?
It could have been. That's what I'm thinking.
But it allowed this movie to be much tighter. Like I loved the relationship. That was like more time that they were able to put into relationship with his mentor and master that I felt really helped the movie sell the movie. So they weren't trying to like split that time with just some, check a box love interest. So
right. Toyman, your final thoughts.
It had been a while since I had seen this one. To Ryan's point, it really is a breeze to watch, and it doesn't feel like it's deserving of its R rating. There's really not a lot of
No.
graphic stuff. Like even the thing like the drive-by shooting is very tame compared to some of the things that we normally watch. I just think that this is one of Billy's weaker efforts. I don't think it's as memorable as Showdown or TC 2000, maybe because it came kind of towards the tail end before he focused more on Tai Bo and kind of got out of the full-time acting gig. But it doesn't make it a bad movie. It is a breeze to watch. I just don't think it's one of the ones that has that constant rewatchability like something like Showdown. And
Right.
we were talking earlier about these films feeling the same and having the same crew and everything like that. And I was taking a look at the cinematographer, and as it turns out, he's got quite a few connections to things that we've discussed because I'm looking and he's evolved into quite the uh, quite the professional here. But he worked on Back in Action. He worked on Death Wish 5, The Face of Death. He worked
Hmm.
on Jungle Ground with Roddy Piper.
That's a good
He worked
one.
on Iron Eagle on the Attack Brain,
Oh,
Iron Eagle 4.
the fourth. Oh my God.
I know how you feel about that one. But then over time, he apparently broke out of Canada because he was a camera operator on the 2008 Rambo, on the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk, Boondock Saints 2, Hot Tub Time Machine. So he has had
Mm.
quite a diverse portfolio here. So you were not wrong in saying that these movies had a very similar feel and probably utilized a lot of the same crew that we've seen on previous films that we've discussed.
There you go. Quality research from the Toy Man. So late in the episode, I want to say that it had been again. I watched this thing in 2015 and definitely have not watched it since. Some of the things that stood out for me: Gary Robbins, always nice to see him. James Liu, kind of a bigger James Liu role. Like he was the main bad guy almost. Not the main bad guy, but the main bad guy as far as physicality was concerned.
The big heel as opposed to being the setup heel.
Right.
Although even here, to your point, I mean, he set up the final battle, but I mean, he was the one that was built as undefeatable, and usually he's the guy that the undefeatable guy sends out to do his bidding.
Right, right. So it's good to see him. Mako. I mean, Mako kicks grandfather from Super Fight's ass all day long. Mako's just a freaking. He's a legend, and
It's on a different level.
yeah, he definitely is. So good to see him in this, and Billy Blanks is Billy Blanks. You know what you're getting with Billy. He doesn't surprise you too often, but that's not a bad thing. It's Billy Blanks. So this one, like you said, Toyman, probably not one you'd rewatch often, but still a fun movie, and as you both said, an easy watch. So if you have not checked out Balance of Power ever, or it's just been a long ass time, certainly encourage you to do so. And I think that's all we have to say about Balance of Power. And we can now wrap up this episode. Of course, as I always do, I want to remind you about social media. You can follow us on X and Blue Sky at Bulletproof Pod and at Bulletproof Action on Instagram and Facebook. I should also mention, if you ever want to reach us, the good old-fashioned email, bulletproofaction at is it bulletproof? Yeah, it's bulletproofaction@gmail.com. I talked about the letterbox. It's at Bulletproof Pod. My personal letterbox is Chris LeBrain. And then, of course, Ryan Campbell's baby, the YouTube channel.
That's right. Head over there, like and subscribe, watch all the stuff. Later this week, Brain, the second edition already of Bulletproof Spotlight. You'll be interviewing Tom Bocci,
yeah,
the director of the recently released Relentless.
Indeed, I had a great conversation with Tom. We talked a little wrestling. We talked about a word. Yes, that word, bastard. We talked bastards, and it was a good conversation. So yeah, you could check that out. He directed Relentless. You could check. I would, suggest you check out Relentless or check out or at least check out my review and maybe then decide if you want to check out Relentless. But that was a good one as well this year. Speaking of good ones, next time, right here on the Bulletproof Podcast, we're going to have a little Steve James and Reb Brown action, Toy Man. Another one I haven't watched in a while. Not as long as this one, but this one was due a revisit.
Same here. I have not seen it in a while, and I'm looking forward to talking about it. Big fans of Steve James around these parts, and how can you resist some good old Reb Brown?
Right, Rebuary, and you got to get that in. Yeah, I reviewed that one on February 19th, 2020. So it's been a while, and that was the first time I saw it because this is one of those ones that never did pop up on YouTube. And I think I finally just bit the bullet and I think I may have bought like a digital copy off of Prime because it was like rented for $3 or own it for $5. And I'm like, well, I may as well just buy the damn thing for $2 more. So that one coming up. And you know what? That one's coming up next week. We already know that we're going to talk War Machine come March. So you can put that on your calendar.
that was a group chat shot across the bow this past week when that trailer came out.
So
they made this movie for us.
Right. So that'd be a good one coming up in March. And as I've told you before, we've got we've got the big Death Wish episode 200 that's coming. And we're going to have some Jackie Chan coming up, lots of stuff coming up. So as you know, if you're not subscribed at this point, subscribe to us. So that whatever we do will just pop up into your feed.
There you go. I did want to mention too, Brian, you mentioned a good one. We lost a good one this past week with James Vanderbeek. I watched Varsity Blues last night, as I'm sure many of you did. So just felt we should bring that up. I'm sure Toy Man, I'm sure you were a fan of some of his 90s or late 90s TV work, stuff like that. But definitely want to send our condolences out.
Yeah, I'm sad.
Sure. Varsity Blues, actually, my best female friend from back in the junior high and high school days. We're still in contact, and we had actually gone to see Varsity Blues together. So we were trading texts about his passing and just kind of reminiscing. And I was also a big fan of Dawson's Creek, as one might expect, with my obsession with teen sitcoms and teen dramas from the 90s. So very, very sad to see, very sad to hear. He really was talented, and it's a shame to see that he had to go through what he went through.
If you're feeling up to it, I would say there is a GoFundMe for his family. They've spent through most of their money the past 2 years with his cancer battle. So there is a GoFundMe out to help his family. If you feel so inclined to go donate to that, maybe we'll put the link in the description or something, but I'm sure you can find it out there on the interwebs.
Yeah, I was going to say Tubi was right on it because that day, like I opened up Tubi, first thing that popped up was Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, that happened to me as well.
So, yeah, I know that was a big show. I did not watch it, but I know that was that kind of made the WB in a lot of ways.
Oh, for sure, yeah. That was like their Game of Thrones, and established them as a network for drama.
So there you have it. All right, folks. I think we've run out of time here. Not that we have no time limit, but we've said everything we need to say, and I hope you enjoyed what we had to say. We're still the Bulletproof Podcast for now.
For another week.
We'll keep
rent is week to week at this point.
We'll keep trying. Toyman he'll be doing Cave Girl Island, or he's gonna keep trying, folks, and you just have to. I don't know what you have to do. Just keep supporting bulletproofaction.com and this podcast so Toyman doesn't get his way. And we're going to be talking about soap. Please, I don't want to do that. I do not want to do that. All right. What I do want to do is go to bed, though. So I'm going to leave. You gentlemen, you should probably leave as well. And or you just could sit here and talk to one another. That's fine as well. I want to thank everybody for listening. And as always, stay tuned for more of the Bulletproof